Hey art friends, how's it going? My name's Miss Lindsay. For those of you that have never taken a class from me before, welcome. For those of you that have taken a class before, welcome back. I'm so excited for our spring session, friends. We have so many fun projects planned. Tonight we're going to be working with acrylics. We're going to be painting this cute little cow with a little flower crown. So what you're going to need a couple extra things that weren't in your kits, okay? So you're going to want to put your paper bag down on your table. You're going to want to get a cup of water to wash out your paintbrushes and maybe a paper towel. And you're also going to need a pencil, okay? So go ahead and press pause, grab all of those things, and then hit play when you're ready to continue, all right? So my workstation is already set up, so I'm just gonna dive right into it. Tonight we're going to be, like I said, painting cows, and they turned out so cute. I actually don't have a canvas, so 1 second, I'm gonna hit pause and I will be right back. Okay, got my canvas. All right, so we are going to start. We're actually going to do it the hamburger way, okay? So we're going to start, and it's hard for me to kind of draw and paint upside down and backwards. So if my cow looks a little bit silly, that's why, but that's okay because even in nature, all cows look different, right? All right, so I'm gonna start down here, and I am going to draw mine on my canvas with Sharpie, because if I did pencil line, you won't be able to see it, okay? Now, one thing before you guys start is if your pencils are sharp, even if they're not, do not press super hard on your canvas. These are wrapped canvases, okay? And if you push too hard, your pencil's gonna go right through it, and that would be a really big bummer. So very light strokes with your pencil, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start down here at the bottom. And I'm going to do a rounded square. It's more of a rounded rectangle, actually. And then right under that, I'm going to go in just a little bit. I'm going to do another rounded rectangle. Okay. Then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to kind of make a skeleton shape. I'm going to kind of go out. And then I'm going to flatten it out up top. I'm going to try and make the same shape over here. So I'm going to go out a little bit. So it's kind of like a diamond, right? Or a stop sign, okay? But we want to round those edges, okay? All right, then right here, I'm going to, right where it kind of dips out a bit, I'm going to do a backwards V. And it's going to kind of look like an alien right now. That's okay. All right. And then I'm going to make this eyeball just a little bit further than the cow's outline. So it kind of looks like an ice cream cone, huh? So I'm going to do another rounded rectangle. Okay. And then I'm going to start up here. Can you guys see that? So kind of right in the middle, and I'm going to kind of do a wiggly stripe down and another wiggly stripe down. Kind of looks, it actually definitely looks like an alien now. All right, we're gonna add our little nose holes. So we're gonna do 2 little backward C's. And then right here, we're going to go right above his eye and draw his ear. Okay, and then I'm gonna loop my ears around on the side. Because these are wrapped canvases, friends, you're always gonna want to paint on this, to bring your paint on the sides, okay? That looks kind of like a silly cow. That's okay. All right, so right here, about halfway in between the bottom of your ear and the top of your nose, we're going to draw his back, and we're just going to kind of make it a little squiggly line. And again, I'm bringing it to the side. And then right here, a little bit in from where his lip is, we're actually going to draw another squiggly line. Okay? So now for our paints, like I said, friends, this is acrylic paint, okay? And it's very important that you pay attention to how you're holding your brush. Now, if you've taken a class with me before, you know I've said this plenty of times, but I'm going to repeat myself because it's so important, okay? So if you want to hold your brush when you're working with acrylics, you're gonna hold it just like you would with the pencil, right down by the bristles, okay? If you hold it all the way up here, you're not gonna have as much control of your brush. So go ahead and hold your pencil like this, and we're going to paint our cow, the brown, okay? So I am going to, what I always do is I always outline my area that I'm painting. That way I don't paint in the wrong spot. So I'm going to quickly outline where I want the light brown to be in this, and I'm going to kind of work in sections. So that way, when I'm painting, I won't accidentally paint like the background or something else brown, because we don't want that, right? So then when you're working with acrylics, also, sorry, I didn't realize it was kind of out of the picture. When you're working with acrylics, also you're gonna wanna pick one direction for your brush strokes. Because this is a textured canvas, friends, you're going to see your brush strokes when your paint dries. So again, because it's a wrapped canvas, I'm gonna bring that paint down to the bottom of this and the sides of the canvas. And I am working, my brush strokes are back. Now you can go up and down if that's easier for you. I am just kind of going back and forth. And outlining it for me makes it really easy to know where I'm supposed to paint what color. All right, again, I'm gonna go down the side, and I'm only gonna go where his side is, because right here is a different color, right? All right, so I'm gonna paint my ears light brown. And then I'm gonna mix a darker brown for his head and his little lip there. And I am a very fast painter, friends, because I do it a lot. So if I'm moving too fast for you, all you have to do is just hit that pause button. And whenever you're ready to move on, everybody does art, creates at a different pace, right? So there's definitely no wrong or right way. I want you guys to take your time and enjoy it and do your best. So if I'm working just a little bit faster than you, that's okay. Just hit pause, and then when you're ready to continue, hit that play button. So again, I'm outlining where I want to paint. And another tip with acrylics, friends, is you never really want the metal part on your paintbrush to have paint on it. You only want to put paint on the bristles. If you have too much paint on your brush, what's gonna happen is your brush strokes, you're gonna have a really hard time with your brush strokes, you're gonna have a hard time with brush control. So it's best to start with a little paint and kind of add as you need it. All right, so I'm kind of evening out all my strokes. All right, look at his little ears. Those are kind of some big ears, huh? That's okay. All cows are different. All right, so now I'm gonna mix a darker brown. And to do that, I'm using my plate, okay? And I grabbed a dollop of the brown. And then I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of black and mix those together. Then if I feel like it's too dark, I can add more brown. I can add a little bit of white. I don't want it to be too dark. But the reason why I'm doing it a little bit darker than the body and the ears is because I want his head and his lip to stand out. I don't want, if I painted this a light brown, then his lip would just kind of blend right in, and I don't want that on mine. So I'm gonna paint his lip a dark brown. Okay, and I'm also going to paint right here. I have kind of a lot of paint on my brush because I use my brush to mix. But I'm going to paint I'm gonna leave the stripe white. So I'm just gonna kind of paint along the outline of where I wanna paint dark brown, because I don't wanna accidentally paint dark brown somewhere else, right? So I'm kind of outlining where I want this color to go, and then I'm just filling it in with my paintbrush. So we're going to add some really fun flowers, a little flower crown to our cows, because what cow doesn't want a flower crown, right? And that flowers are so easy to do, and they're a lot of fun to just kind of add to a lot of different projects. So I thought that this session I would start on a little lesson on flowers. And what better way to do that than a flower crown on a cow? Hello. So again, I'm outlining and filling in, outlining and filling in, and I'm going super slow, right? All right, there's my little cow. What do you guys think? Looks pretty silly right now, huh? All right, so I'm gonna wash my brush, because I'm gonna switch colors. A tip to do that, friends, is if you grab a cup, just tap your brush on the bottom of the cup, and then grab your paper towel or towel, whatever you're using. I'm using a paint towel, and then dry it off really good, because sometimes with acrylic paint, if you don't dry off your brushes, what's gonna happen is it gets runny, and then it runs into the other colors, and it just turns into a mess, okay? So wash and dry your brushes, and then we're gonna paint our background blue. And again, I outline the whole area that I want to paint. Let's see if I can get super close to that brown line without mixing the brown in. So I definitely don't want to do that. But I'm outlining, moving super slow, working on my brush control, right? Again, I'm going to bring that blue down here. So now I know this whole area is to be painted blue. That just kind of makes it easier for me to lay out my paintings. Lots of people do it differently, so you guys can really do it however works best for you. That's just something that I was taught and that I've always done. All right, I'm going to bring this blue down to the sides too. And over here on the side, up to the ear. You see that? So I'm going to bring that blue all the way down too. That way when you hang it up on the wall, it will look like a finished piece of art. All right, so I'm gonna move up here. And again, you guys, I paint so fast, so please don't get frustrated. If you need to hit that pause button, please do, okay? So again, I'm outlining, bringing it down the side, coming over here. I'm going to outline over here. Kind of gets a little bit difficult with all the wet paint on the sides, but you just kind of got to move it around and hold it wherever you can. All right, so I'm going to paint. I am going to go up and down on this one because I did up and down on this part of the background, and I don't want my brush strokes to look different. So I'm going in the entire background, I'm going to use the same brush strokes. That way it kind of looks cohesive. Cohesive means like it all goes together, kind of all the same. So up and down brush strokes, and then kind of smooth any bumps out. And then I'm going to bring the blue on the top and on the side, the other side of the canvas. Then I only have one more little blue spot to paint. And this is gonna be really tricky. Yours, my guess is you guys have yours laying down, okay? So you won't have to necessarily hold yours up. I'm holding mine up so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So again, I'm just gonna outline, pull it down on the sides, and then paint it in. And again, I'm gonna go up and down in this part of the sky for my strokes, because the rest of the sky, I had up and down brush strokes. On the sides, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Look at my little alien cow, you guys. It's gonna be pretty cute. All right, friends, so next what we're gonna do is we're going to mix our pink with just a little bit of white. So it's kind of a light pink. And we're going to paint. Make sure before you do that your brush is really clean, okay? So tap it on the bottom of your cup and then dry it out really good, all right? Especially with transitioning to blue to pink, because blue is a lot darker than the pink, so you definitely would be able to see it. All right, so I'm gonna paint my little nose. Again, I'm outlining, and then I'm gonna fill it in. Little pink cow nose. I don't know why I like cows so much. I just think they're so stinking cute. All right, I'm just gonna go back and forth and fill it in. What do you guys think? Still looks a little silly, huh? We haven't added the eyes yet. That'll really help. So once your nose is done, you're gonna wash your brush, dry it off on your towel. Then we're gonna paint in our eyes, and we're going to paint all the way out, but we're going to leave a little triangle in the corner there. See how I kind of left that corner? And then I'm going to outline my eye with paint. But if you want to outline it with Sharpie at the end, it's a lot easier. If you're not too comfortable with acrylics, that's what I would recommend, is outlining in Sharpie. But if you feel comfortable with your brush control, you can absolutely outline in paint. You don't want a super thick line, right? So I'm going to outline my little eye with my, that looks more like a cow now that we have his eyes. All right, and same thing with my little C's. What do you guys think? Pretty cute. I'm gonna add some eyelashes. And I just did 3 little lines. Okay, so I don't have much paint on my brush, right? So I'm just gonna go right here where the ear meets the eye. I'm gonna go like that. Little eyelashes. Cute, cute, cute. When you guys are done with your projects, please post them in the comments, okay? Because I love seeing all of your faces, all of your projects. I know online learning is a little bit different, but it's still so fun to be able to create together, okay? All right, so next, friends, what we're going to do is we're actually going to work on our flowers. So in order to move on, this all needs to be completely dry, okay? So a tip when working with acrylics is on canvas is you can actually blow dry your canvas dry so you don't have to wait. If you don't have a blow dryer, that's okay. You can wait a little bit longer. Never put your blow dryer any closer than your hand, okay? So hold it about up here and it should be dry to the touch. So you should be able to put your hand down and not have any paint. I have a ton of paint on my hands. I always do, but you shouldn't have any paint coming up on your hands, okay? So I'm gonna press pause. I'm going to get mine dry and then we will move on to our flowers. All right, friends, so my cow is dry to the touch. Not getting any paint up on my hands, okay? So what we're going to do now is I want you guys to take a look at the flower sheet that was sent home and just kind of take a look at the different colors, the different shapes of the leaves, different shapes of the petals. Okay, and pick out, you can either pick out a couple flowers to use yourself, or we can work together. It's up to you, okay? All right, so first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my paintbrush, again, I don't have very much, into the purple, and I'm going to add a big purple circle to the middle of my cow's forehead. That looks pretty silly right now, doesn't it? Looks a little silly. Okay. And then I'm gonna add 2 smaller circles, the same color over here. Now when you're painting, it's kind of important. Layout is always important. So there is symmetric, which is if you cut something in half, it's going to be the same on both sides. Whoops. And then there's asymmetric, which if you cut this in half, it would be different. Okay. I want my crown to be a little bit asymmetric and a little bit symmetric. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a light purple with white and the purple. And I'm going to come back in and I am going to add some texture to this little flower. Okay, so I've got a little bit of white, a little bit of purple. I'm going to do kind of a dot in the middle. And then I'm going to make some quotation marks. See how I'm kind of putting my brush down and just kind of swooping it? And then I'm going to go out here and do the same thing. So it kind of looks almost like a rose, right? On this one, I think I'm going to have my petals be a little pink. So I'm going to mix my pink with a lot of white. Okay, so I've got some paint, right? Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do just a little dot. You know, I think I might do more pink. Little dot. And then I'm going to just put my brush down and just kind of pull it. And then I'm going to go up here. And I'm just kind of pulling those little petals. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm putting a dot in the middle. And then I'm just putting my brush down and just kind of swooping it in a circular motion. And then I'm going just a little bit past that circle to kind of give it a fuller look. Look how cute those little flowers are. All right, so I am also going to do some berries. So I'm going to do some twigs. I'm going to make some dark brown. So I'm going to grab a big blob of brown and just a little tiny bit of black. Okay. And I'm going to make some, actually, you know what? Because my head is dark brown, I'm going to make my sticks just a light brown. So I'm going to do the light brown and then just a little bit of white. And we're going to make some sticks. I want to make sure that the sticks stand out, right? So if I did dark sticks on the head, then what would happen is it would just kind of blend right in, right? And we don't want that. So I'm just doing a couple of brown little twigs. And I am just going to put my brush down and just kind of pull it, okay? And then I'm going to add some berries to this. Okay? And I think I'm going to add another one. Should we add it over here? Have it kind of go behind that flower. What do you guys think? Like that. See how I'm just putting my brush down? And I'm just kind of swooping. Right? Okay. All right, next I'm gonna rinse my brush and I'm gonna add little berries to my little twigs. And I think I'm gonna do yellow berries. So I'm making sure that my brush is really clean. And I'm gonna tip my brush, just the tip. And then I'm just going to kind of add some little foliage to these little twigs. Add some color up there. Okay. And another trick, friends, is if you want to turn the back of your paintbrush around and use it for little dots, you can absolutely do that. I do that quite often, actually. So I'm just adding some dots, okay? Little berries. Springtime berries. Are you guys ready for spring? Oh my gosh. I'm loving all the warm weather. Not so much the rain, but I guess we kind of need the rain, huh? All right, I'm just gonna kind of add a little bit of foliage up there. Fill it out a bit. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna make some little yellow circle flowers. Just kind of fill in where I can. I think I'm gonna do one here. All right, and I'm gonna do one, let's do one right here. And you guys can lay out your crown however you want, okay? I'm just kind of adding some fun little flowers. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to actually add some leaves too. So there's all kinds of different leaves that you guys can do. If you look on your, I'm mixing the dark green and the yellow. And if you want to use one of the leaves, there's so many fun options. But I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna just do a stem here, and then I'm gonna do a stem here, and I am going to make little leaves. And I am just putting my paintbrush down like this, just making little dabs, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. What do you guys think? How cute, right? All right, I think I'm gonna add some leaves to my roses. And I am gonna make my rose leaves a little bit of the darker green. I'm gonna add one here. I'm just doing a round, kind of like a rounded diamond almost. I'll do one here. What do you guys think? Where else should I do one? Should I do maybe one over here? Right. You can kind of lay it out however you want. I'm gonna do it right here. What do you guys think? Cute. I think it needs another one. Little green leaf. I think I'm gonna add one over here. Right here, right by his eyeball. Pretty cute. All right, so I'm gonna fancy up my flowers a little bit. I'm gonna add some different colors to them. I'm gonna add some dots. I think I want to do, I'm gonna do a little dot circle on my yellow flowers. I'm gonna do just a little circle of circles. What do you guys think? I think I might add, I'm gonna mix a little bit of the yellow and the light brown. maybe a little bit of white in there. Kind of want to add just some petals to those little round guys, my little yellow round guys. So I'm mixing the brown, a yellow, and just a little bit of white, and it's kind of like a peach color. And I'm just going to add just little petals to this little guy. Just little petals. Just put my brush down and I'm just kind of pulling it out. Put my brush down and then just kind of drag it out. Okay, and then I'm going to add, what do you guys think? Should I add maybe some little pink, just little pink accents in there to kind of fill in some of the empty spots, kind of add a little bit more color in there, give the illusion of maybe some pink flowers. And then I am going to make white dots on my roses, my purple roses. And I'm just kind of using the back of my brush for most of this, friends. And then I'm going to add just a couple little highlights to my rose petals too. Kind of give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm just lightly kind of taking the back of my brush. I dipped it in white. And I am just kind of grabbing and just pulling, just kind of randomly. Give that flower some kind of little bit of highlights. All right, so I'm just gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do just tiny little white dots on that flower. And then I'm gonna do tiny little white dots on this flower over here. Okay, and I think that is pretty dang close to being done. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Can't wait to see yours. Everybody's should look different, right? All right, so now the last step is to just highlight or outline everything. And at the beginning of the video, I said you could use a Sharpie. You absolutely can. I think the Sharpie is easier and it gives a super crisp line. So I'm just kind of outlining all the parts of my cow. I'm not going to outline the flowers. Just because I think it would kind of get a little bit too messy for my taste. But if you want to, you absolutely can. It is your painting, and I want you guys to be able to express yourselves. Okay, so I am just outlining everything on my cow except the flowers with a Sharpie. That way it just kind of all stands out. Right here. And I think that she is done. What do you guys think? I loved this project. I think it was a fun way to learn more about acrylic paints. We talked about symmetry, asymmetry, how to properly use a brush when working with acrylic paints, and we did a very small intro into flowers. And because it's our spring session, we're going to be painting and drawing a lot of flowers, so we will get more in depth with it over the weeks. But if you guys have any questions throughout the week, please don't hesitate to either have your parents reach out or message in the comments, okay? All right, friends, happy creating. I hope that you had a fun time, and I hope that you guys clean up your art space so your parents don't have to. go ahead and keep your paintbrushes, okay? I will not be sending home any more paintbrushes. So if you lose them, if you don't wash them out, then you're going to have to find another one, another set, and I don't want that to happen. So make sure that you not only clean up after your space, but that you take good care of your art supplies. That little sponge painter that I sent home, and then the 2 paintbrushes we'll use throughout the whole 6 weeks. So make sure to take good care of them, friends. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.